Welcome to the Erasmus Foundation podcast. My name is Paul Nugent. Are you looking for answers to life and its meaning? Then this may well be the very podcast you need to listen to. In a series of podcasts, we are going to look at the difficult questions of life and apply spiritual knowledge to find out the answers. Hello. Today, our podcast is going to be concerning the future of mankind. Now, with me today is Padina from Spirit. So, greetings, Padina.
Greetings.
Now, a lot of people feel that the future of this planet is doomed, and they cannot see a way of improving things so that it may survive. So does man have a future, would you say?
He does. Spirit and the great mind, as well as many people upon your earth, are working very hard to ensure that man does indeed have a future. Now, in spite of all that man is doing to destroy his planet, this will not happen.
Well, that's good news then. So is this the first time this has ever happened on the Earth, to be in such a state that we're in, or has it
No,
happened in the past?
it has happened in the past. And your history books do not really relate very much. Although there has been some writings about Atlantis from Plato, who originally gained this knowledge from Solon. But records do exist. And this foundation has accumulated a great deal of knowledge about the previous civilizations on your planet, which were destroyed by mankind, but were then replaced and presenting now your fifth civilization, which you are in, which is to change and go forward into the sixth within many people's lives at this time. It is a very exciting time to be living on the earth.
A lot of people might not agree with you about that, Padina, because obviously it is quite a hard life for many people on the Earth, and they don't see the outcome that you do. I mean, many people recognize that it is very dark and evil on the planet right now, and they feel maybe that this can only get worse.
Well, it could get worse, yes, indeed. But this, to a degree, is within the freedom of choice of mankind generally. To work together, to come together, all nations and peoples of the earth should come together, work together to prevent further damage being done by the increase in global temperature, as well as the effect of pollution across your world, which has been the cause and promotion of the disease mankind and other creatures upon your world are now suffering as a result of all this pollution and mismanagement.
So, this freedom of choice, is this about to be given to us? Are we in the middle of making that decision? Or where are we at the moment?
I would suggest you are in the process of deciding how your future should be. And you have these COP meetings every year where people, some, are very diligent in their endeavors to bring all nations together to help resolve difficulties and issues that mankind faces at this time. So I would think, yes, man is very much in the middle of this decision making.
I'm assuming this decision making could go on for quite some time.
Well, it cannot go on for too long, as many people are aware, because the damage that mankind is doing cannot last forever. It must be resolved sooner.
And do you believe that these groups that are coming together are going to be the way forward?
Well, we will have to see. But as the events within your world begin to affect many people more and more in other parts of your world, then as a consequence, those victims will be forced to put pressure upon those responsible to think about change.
Okay, so the future is in the balance at the moment as far as
Mhm.
its physical existence is concerned. But oddly enough, of course, a lot of these difficulties that man is facing right now is helping him to spiritually evolve, isn't it? So, what is the future for man's spirituality and growth?
Well, let me say, first of all, it has already begun. A spread of change has started to gather pace across your world, where there is a developing interest more and more in spiritual knowledge, where some people are beginning to appreciate that so much can be gained with spiritual knowledge, how this would improve so much within people's lives. The science of spirits, particularly, an understanding more, an appreciation of the natural law, and an understanding of how nature is being affected by the mismanagement of mankind. All of this, there is a growing awareness right across your world. And in the future, there will be more and more knowledge given to man to help him evolve spiritually and as well in other ways within the life of mankind generally.
This is worth asking again, Padina, we talk about it many times on these podcasts, but what
Mhm.
does man need to do to achieve the goals that are hoped for from spirit?
Well, we have a very simple request of people, of the earth, and it is very simple. It has been spoken of before in many societies and civilizations before by many philosophers. And that is a request that people look at themselves, question what is within each one of you. What is the makeup of each individual? And it requires a person sitting quietly, contemplating themselves, asking themselves many questions, and with help and spiritual knowledge, come to a better understanding of oneself, thereby coming to a better understanding of other people. And that surely must be recognized as a great benefit. And believe me, it would be, and it would go very far in helping to change your world.
Because people are basically, or in general, I'm generalizing here, are looking out at others and thinking, oh, there's a person that's causing this problem, or that organization is causing a problem, without really looking into their own input into the situation. So what you're saying, Padina, excuse me for repeating, just because it is important, that man needs to sort his own house out first.
Mm-hmm,
Is
mm-hmm.
that correct? Yes.
Indeed, yes. Come to a greater understanding of himself. Very simple.
So what can we expect from the future? I'm assuming that if we get past this stage, things will really start opening up for mankind.
It will, in time, be a much more beautiful place. Great beauty. The skies will be different, more colorful. Nature will be more colorful. Man will live more in accordance with the natural law. He will learn how to work with nature and not want to destroy it. There will be more creatures, different animals, different vegetation. It will be quite a difference. It will be perhaps returning to a Garden of Eden that symbolically your Bible book refers to. But it is symbolic in that story. But the reality will be far, far greater. And that is the future.
Thank you, Padina. I think we're coming to the end of our podcast this time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that I've asked you the questions that are most meaningful to you to answer.
Oh, I think indeed, yes.
Good.
Yes.
So before we close, then, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Just to say that life is ongoing change at all times. There have been great changes on your earth, some of which man is ignorant. But one thing I can see. And I wish to make the point that in previous civilizations there were changes where vast numbers of creatures, animals, your dinosaurs, were no longer to be, and they were replaced in time with other creatures. And so it is that man will see changes of this nature. It is ongoing change at all times, and that is right. That is how the natural law is.
Thank you very much, Bedina. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Erasmus Foundation is a spiritual teaching and healing foundation based in Laxfield, Suffolk, in the United Kingdom. We have a webpage, www.erasmus-foundation.org. If you would like to be a guest on our podcast, or indeed have further questions for us, then please contact me on paul@erasmus-foundation.org, and we'll do our best to accommodate you. Thank you very much for listening.